All right, and chapter 12 is Jason. And Jason's in a little bit of trouble. His desk is lying upside down. So let's see what's going on with Jason. Jason had a small face and a big mouth. He had the second biggest mouth in Mrs. Jewell's class. And there were an awful lot of big mouths in that class. Miss Jules, Jason called without raising his hand. Joy is chewing gum in class. Joy had the biggest mouth in Mrs. Jewell's class, and it was filled with gum. There was hardly even room for her tongue. Joy, I'm ashamed of you, said Mrs. Jewels. I'm afraid I'm going to have to put your name up on the board. That's okay, Mrs. Jewels, Jason called. I'll do it. Jason hopped up out of his seat and wrote Joy's name on the blackboard under the word discipline. While he was up, Joy took the glob of gum out of her mouth and placed it on Jason's chair. Rondi and Allison giggled. Jason walked back from the blackboard to his desk and sat down. Mrs. Jewels, he called, I'm stuck. Rondi and Allison giggled again. Mrs. Jewels got angry. Joy, you are going home on the kindergarten bus today. Oh, good, said Todd. I'll have some company. Todd went home on the kindergarten bus every day. He could never seem to make it to 12 o'clock without getting in trouble 3 times. His name wasn't even up on the blackboard yet, but he knew that by 12 o'clock it would be. Checked and circled. Miss Jules, what am I going to do? I'm stuck. I'm going to have to stay here the rest of my life, said Jason. Joy, tell Jason you're sorry, said Miss Jules. I'm sorry, Jason, said Joy. Well, it's okay, Joy, said Jason. I don't mind. Try to get up, Jason, said Miss Jules. Jason tried. I can't, Miss Jules. I'm stuck. Miss Jules asked the 3 Erics to help. Eric Fry, Eric Ovens, and Eric Ovens pulled Jason. Eric Bacon held the chair. Stop, cried Jason. You'll rip my pants. Rondi and Allison giggled. All right, said Miss Jules. Let's try ice water. That should freeze the gum and make it less sticky. I'll go get some from Miss Mush. Miss Mush was the lunch teacher at Wayside School. She had the remarkable ability to undercook a dish and overcook it at the same time. Her specialty was a nice hot bowl of mud, and she called it porridge. Jason looked at Rondi and Allison. No, Mrs. Jewels, he said, don't leave me. Besides, Miss Mush's ice water is probably warm. Don't be silly, Jason, said Mrs. Jewels. I'm sure it will be at least as cold as her soups. Rondi and Allison leered at Jason. No, Miss Jewels, don't go, begged Jason. I'll be right back, Jason, said Miss Jewels, and she went to Miss Mush for some ice water. As soon as Miss Jewels stepped out of the door, Rondi and Allison jumped up from their seats and started to tickle Jason. He laughed until his hair turned purple. The girls got back to their seats just as Mrs. Jewels returned. Miss Jewels carried a big bucket of ice-cold water. No, please don't. No. We have no choice, said Mrs. Jewels. She threw the water all over him. Well, said Miss Jewels, try to get up. Jason was drenched. I'm wet, I'm cold, and I am still stuck. Oh, well, it didn't work, said Mrs. Jewels. At least we tried. Now I guess we'll have to cut your pants off. Rondi and Allison giggled. No, Miss Jewels, no, Jason screamed. I don't mind being stuck here. I'm really comfortable. Don't be silly, Jason, said Miss Jewels. The 3 Erics can carry you to the bathroom, said Miss Jewels. I'll ask Lois to call your mother. She can bring you a new pair of pants. The 3 Erics took hold of Jason's chair and turned him upside down. Oh, so that's how he got into that little predicament. No, Miss Jewels, said Jason. Now I'll always have to have a place to sit down. I won't have to worry about finding a seat on the bus. The 3 Erics began to take him away. Wait, said Joy. Mrs. Jewels, if I can get Jason unstuck, do I still have to go home on the kindergarten bus? All right, said Miss Jewels. If you can somehow get Jason free, you don't have to go home early. I don't trust her, Miss Jewels, said Jason. He was still hanging upside down. Jason screamed, no, Miss Jewels, just throw water on me, tickle me, cut off my pants, hang me upside down from the ceiling. But don't let her do this. We've got nothing to lose, Jason, said Miss Jewels. Jason hung helplessly upside down. Jason stepped up. Oh, not Jason. Joy stepped up. Jason fell out of the chair and hit his head on the floor. Rondi and Allison giggled. Ugh, said Todd. Now I have to go home alone again. Joy erased her name from the blackboard. So with a little bit of finagling, it seems that Joy was able to get Jason out of his chair. It's kind of an interesting picture. Kind of hanging upside down. All right, and then our next chapter is Rondi. She looks like a little cutout, little dash. There's like dash lines around her outfit, maybe like a little clown or something. So we will find out about Rondi next time.